Hello students, welcome back to the class. So during the last class we have discussed about joystick and major concept of joystick. In this class we have discussed about in major concept Greek, Stoic and Roman concept of joystick. In this class we will discuss about modern theory of joystick. What are the modern theory of joystick? So we are going forward. Okay. Same process, introduction, meaning, definition. As soon as when we will start the third point, then no need of meaning and definition. Okay. Why? Because in two classes I have repeated meaning and definition. So when you are going for the third point, directly, okay, directly will go after introduction, directly will go to third point. But now initially when we are reading in the first stage, introduction, meaning, definition, until we are not explaining two times, you will not get the point, and that's why we have to explain two times. Joysticks, which represent the synthesis concept. This is a combination of a part. This is a synthesis concept. Okay, the emergence of joysticks are mainly started during the period of democracy as well as socialism. Okay, socialism, 1917, the first socialist country was Russia, and democracy. Because of the concept of democracy and socialism, the concept of joystick was completely transformed. Okay, change. Okay, the concept of joystick was changed. Social joystick, when we are talking about social joystick, this is a voice for the oppressed and underprivileged person. Oppressed in the sense the person, okay, harsh, the persons who are facing harsh and authoritarian treatments, they were called as oppressed. Whatever the person who are facing the harsh treatment, cruel treatment, okay, and authoritarian treatment, okay, and underprivileged means the people who lacks basic facilities, they were called underprivileged. So social voice, social justice is a voice for oppressed as well as underprivileged against oppressive and exploitative practices. Okay, oppressive in the sense the person who are making oppressive treatment, they were called as oppressive and exploitative practices. Joystick is a dynamic concept. Joystick is originated from the Latin word jus, which means bind, to bind. Okay, if you are binding completely, then that is called as jus. Joystick always will be right and reasonable, and joystick always oppose injustice, wrong and unreasonable things. Okay, Barker, okay, he is a great philosopher who stated joystick is a combination and the coordination of political value. So joystick is both, joystick is a combination as well as coordination of political value. Next we will go forward to the second point. This is about the modern concept of joystick. Now what is the modern theory of joystick emerged? Okay, so modern theory of joystick was emerged as a social contract, okay, by Hobbes, Locke and Rousseau. So these are the, when they have, this modern theory was emerged because of their work, whatever the work which was written by the social contract. Okay, this is a social contract. This, due to the social contract, whatever the regarding social contract, Hobbes, Locke and Jacques Rousseau, okay, they have related some works they have written, and due to this social contract, okay, the modern form of joystick was changed. Okay, and the movement, if you see, there are many movements were started during the time Reformation, Renaissance and Industrial Revolution. So because of this, modern theory of joystick was completely changed. Movement, when you are talking, what is Reformation? When you are talking about the Reformation movement, Reformation is nothing but making a changes and making some changes so that again to bring it in a back as well as in the right position. Whenever if you are making any changes to bring back in his right position, that is called as reformation. Reforming, again forming. Okay, means if you are making any changes, okay, reformation means this is a movement through which you wanted to make any changes to bring back in its right position, that is called reformation movement. Renaissance means this is a cause of rebirth. Whenever the civilization is changing from middle age to the modern age, whenever the civilization starts from, whenever the civilizations, or we can find whenever there was a changes occurs from the middle age, when the changes are occurs from middle age to the modern age, that is called Renaissance development. Okay, so Renaissance is a word which is originated from the French, which means rebirth. Renaissance is nothing but rebirth. marking changes from medieval age to the modern age. Okay. So, due to that Renaissance means due to that change, what is happening, the middle age has transformed into the modern age. Okay. For example, education is transforming the educations or developing of education, spreading of educations can bring important changes. Okay. So, due to the education, what happened, the middle age transformed into the modern age. Industrial revolution also makes some important changes. The fast changes in the field of industry, that is called industrial revolution. So, because of this movement, Reformation, Renaissance and industrial revolution, many changes have appeared. Okay, modern theory of justice. Okay, Hobbes have identified that justice is nothing but absolute sovereignty should be vested in the hand of states. Whenever the absolute power is under the control of state, then that is called as justice. Absolute sovereignty should be vested under the control of state, then that is called as justice. According to Locke, he identified that justice is nothing but natural rights. Whenever the rights given to the people, whenever the rights, natural rights, when you are giving to the people, then they got justice. Okay, according to Locke, what is meant by natural rights are nothing but the rights which nobody can take from you, the rights which are not inalienable rights, the rights which are given to you which nobody can take, are these rights the government cannot exploit. So, such types of rights through which nobody can take these rights from you, or the government also cannot exploit that right, that rights are called as natural rights, which are called as inalienable rights. And Rousseau have explained justice is nothing but general will. General means will of people, willing of the people. Okay, willing of the people or will of the people is called as general will. So, justice is nothing but the will, general will. So, Rousseau stated that justice is nothing but general will, means will of people, willingness of the people. So, here we have discussed about justice and the major concept of justice. So, this is about the major theory of justice. Okay. So, once again we will go forward. Introduction, we have discovered that justice is nothing but this is a synthesis and combinations and coordinations of political concept. Justice, the emergence of, due to the emergence of democracy and socialism, the concept of justice was completely transformed, changes. So, because of the emergence of democracy as well as socialism, the concept of justice was completely transformed. Social justice is nothing but these are the voice for the oppressed and underprivileged. Oppressed is nothing but the people, okay, who are facing harsh and cruel treatment. Whatever the people who are facing the cruel treatment or harsh treatment or authoritarian treatment, they were called as oppressed. Underprivileged means whatever the rights which they should get, they didn't got the rights. Okay, so they were called as underprivileged. So, whatever the benefits, you can say benefits, whenever they lack some essential benefits, they were called as underprivileged. So, social justice is nothing but there are the voice of oppressed peoples and underprivileged peoples against oppressives. Oppressive means who are making oppressive treatment upon them, oppressives and exploitative practices. When you are talking about the meaning of justice is mainly derived from the Latin word jus, which means right as well as reasonable. Always the justice is opposed to unjust, wrong and unreasonable things. Next, we have seen the definitions. The Barker have defined that justice is a combinations and the coordinations of political value, same thing. Next, come to the point modern theory of justice. Modern theory of justice was greatly emerged. Okay, when it was greatly emerged due to the social contract. Okay, so John Locke. Okay, so due to the social contract which was mainly written by Hobbes, Locke and Rousseau. Okay, social contract means what? The contract between the people as well as representative, that is called social contract. Okay, when social contract means this is a book which was mainly written by the philosopher. In the social contract is nothing but we are giving the representatives and the government to rule for the period of 5 years. That is a social contract between the people as well as representative. A contract between the people as well as representative, that is a social contract. So, as soon as when this social contract emerged and whatever the work which were written by the Hobbes, Locke and Rousseau, okay, modern theory of justice was also found. Many movements were took place. Due to the many movements, modern theory of justice were developed. What are the important movements which we started is Reformation. Reformation movement means again bringing back to its original position, again bringing back to its its right position. So reformation is nothing but a movement. By this movement again you wanted to bring back to its previous position, that is called reformation movement. Renaissance is Renaissance is a word which is mainly derived from the France, which means rebirth. Okay, so Renaissance are nothing but the medieval age which are transformed into the modern age, that is called as Renaissance. Revolution which was strongly took place in the field of industry, that is industrial revolution. During 19th century we know that industries completely transformed, and the first country which were industrial revolution country took place in England. So because of this movement what happened, modern theory of justice was greatly developed. Hobbes have identified that justice is nothing but absolute sovereignty. Power should be under the control of state. Whenever the state enjoy the power, then that is a justice. Locke have identified that justice is nothing but the natural rights when it is given to the citizen, then that is a justice. Natural rights are nothing but the rights which nobody can take it from you, and the rights which are inalienable rights. Such types of rights are called as natural rights. Rousseau have stated that justice are nothing but general will and will of the people, that is called as justice. So children, in this point we have discussed about the modern theory of justice. Okay. In the next class we will discuss about the third point. Okay, third main point we will discuss directly. Okay, thank you very much children. We will meet you in the next class.